The golden years. Remember those? The commercials promise golf carts, beach houses, and sunset margaritas. But here's the punchline. The average baby boomer has just about $200,000 in net worth. That's right, the wealthiest generation in American history is now clipping coupons at Publix. Boomers hold $83 trillion in total wealth, but most of it belongs to a handful of people who could probably buy your entire zip code. The rest? They're realizing retirement in America isn't a reward, it's a second job that doesn't pay. For decades, America sold a dream. Work hard for 40 years, retire to Florida, and live out your days in sun-drenched bliss. It was the ultimate promise of stability, the reward for doing everything right, but that dream was never real. It was a marketing invention, built during the 1960s when pensions were reliable, houses were cheap, and your paycheck actually covered your bills. Fast forward to today, the pensions are gone, healthcare costs are exploding, and a comfortable retirement costs more than most Americans will ever save. So what happened? How did the richest generation in U.S. history end up working part-time at Walmart or moving to Thailand just to afford rent? In this video, we're breaking down the myth of the American retirement dream, who it was really made for, why it collapsed, and how the next generation is being forced to completely rewrite the script. This isn't your grandparents' retirement story. It's the new reality, and it's far from golden. Let's start with the big, shiny number. Baby boomers hold $83.3 trillion in wealth. Sounds impressive, right? That's more than the GDP of every other country on Earth combined, except the US itself. But here's the reality check. The median boomer's net worth is around $200,000. That means half have less than that. And if you retire with $200,000, you can pull maybe $800 a month without outliving your money. Add in Social Security, about $1,800, and you're living on roughly $2,600 a month. That's not golden years territory. That's turn off the AC and hope the fridge doesn't break territory. The ultra-rich boomers, the CEO, investors, and landlords, skew the number so hard it hides how average retirees are really living. The generation that had it all is now quietly downsizing, delaying retirement, and doing DoorDash on the weekends. The modern idea of retirement, golf courses, sunny condos, and daily happy hours didn't just happen. It was sold to America. Back in the 1960s, after World War II, America was booming. Jobs were stable, pensions were common, and the middle class had disposable income. So advertisers jumped in. Retire in paradise. Buy this condo in Florida. Invest in your golden years. Retirement communities popped up, cruise lines ran ads, and the dream was cemented. You work for 40 years, then coast into comfort. The problem? That dream depended on a world that doesn't exist anymore. Today, pensions are nearly extinct, savings are eaten alive by inflation, and Social Security barely covers essentials. The dream stayed the same, but the math changed completely. Once upon a time, 65 was the finish line. You got your gold watch, packed your things, and retired with dignity. Now, 1 in 5 Americans over 65 is still working. Not because they want to, but because they have to. The cost of living has exploded, healthcare premiums keep rising, and fixed incomes don't stretch the way they used to. Some say working longer gives purpose. Sure, if purpose means bagging groceries or driving Uber to afford your blood pressure meds. Social Security limits how much you can earn before it cuts your benefits. So even if you do work, the system punishes you for trying to stay afloat. The new retirement plan isn't a pension, it's survival through side hustles. When you can't afford to live in the country you helped build, you start looking elsewhere. And that's exactly what hundreds of thousands of Americans are doing. Over 760,000 Americans now claim Social Security while living overseas, nearly double the number from 25 years ago. The top destinations: Mexico, Portugal, Costa Rica, Thailand, and the Philippines. Why? Because in Thailand, you can rent a decent apartment for $168 a month. Try finding that in Florida. Your Social Security check that barely covers bills in the US can stretch 2 or 3 times farther abroad. But it's not paradise. Language barriers, healthcare access, and social isolation hit hard. Many realize too late that cheaper living doesn't mean better living. It's the ultimate trade-off, comfort for cost. The old idea of the American dream, endless growth, big houses, bigger debt, and a retirement full of leisure, is dying. The new dream is simpler: sustainability, control, and freedom from financial panic. Retirement isn't a finish line anymore. It's a balancing act. Boomers are learning that less might actually mean more. More peace, more time, more stability. In younger generations, they're watching closely, realizing that the fantasy of a 40-year grind followed by a 20-year vacation was never real in the first place. The American dream didn't disappear. It just moved somewhere cheaper, smaller, and maybe a little more honest. Here's the truth. The American retirement dream was never built to last. It was designed for a time when one income bought a house, healthcare was affordable, and a pension check showed up like clockwork. That world is gone. What's left is a system that tells people to save more while wages stagnate, rents explode, and the stock market decides whether you eat steak or ramen in your 70s. So maybe it's time to stop chasing the fantasy. The golf course, the beach house, the picture-perfect golden years, those were just props in a post-war ad campaign. The real golden years might look a lot smaller, but also a lot more real. Maybe it's living in a modest apartment, debt-free with enough to cover the bills and a little left for coffee with friends. Maybe it's having control over your time instead of chasing the illusion of wealth. Because the American dream isn't about abundance anymore. It's about survival with dignity. And in a world that keeps moving the goalposts, maybe that's the smartest dream of all.